Welcome to the Spa Hive podcast. We're your hosts, Julie Pankey
and Marianne Sassine, spa leaders, business strategists, and business besties who are pulling back the curtain on what it actually takes to grow a business and a life you don't secretly want to escape from.
This is where leadership meets honesty, where revenue meets relationships, and where we talk about the things no one puts on Instagram.
So, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, or a high achiever who's building something meaningful, but also navigating team dynamics, burnout, boundaries, and big goals, you're in the right place.
No highlight reels, no sugarcoating, just real conversations, practical strategy, and a little laughter along the way. Let's get into it. Oh, and welcome back. I'm Julie Pankey, your host for the Spa Hive podcast, here with my business bestie, Marianne Sassine. Good morning, Marianne.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning to our listeners. How are you doing, Julie?
Great.
Well, you had a nice beach walk this morning.
I did have a nice beach walk. I always feel better when I start my day that way. I start my day with some activity and don't just stay in bed when it's easy just to I'm going to stay in bed, read my book. I have a little extra time.
Right.
It's easy to be lazy. It's harder to make yourself get up. But I was like, I'm not going to go back to sleep. I woke up at 5. I said, I'm not going to go back to sleep. I'm going to normally at home, I would do gardening.
Right.
Get it done before the heat. So I took my beach walk and I feel mentally and physically good. So, there is something to that theory.
Wow. You're ready. You're ready to slay your day.
I'm ready to slay my day. I'm ready to be the leader that everybody wants me to be. And yeah, most days. So we're finishing up our, 4 weeks of leadership talk. So before we dive in, I had a little leadership moment happen to me. So, those of you that are just starting out and you're like, I hear this all the time, oh, you just know the right things to do. And, you have so much experience. I hope I could be like that one day. We all are still learning and evolving and growing and, making mistakes. And it doesn't matter if you've been doing it a year, you're just getting into a leadership, you're a new mom, right? And you're going to be a leader of your family, whatever you're leading. There are lots of books out there and there's a lot of people that think they know everything, but the reality is that none of us, know everything about everything. And if you're a leadership expert, I hope you're still learning and growing. Otherwise, it's hella boring. So the other day, I was explaining a project over text in my defense. And those of you that text me know that I am not always the most literate texter. And so, I thought that I did a pretty good job, right? Laying out, communicating my version of what I wanted to be done. And she sent me a text back with screenshots from her chat GPT that said, can you explain to me what my manager wants me to do? And now, also in my defense, to be fair, English is her second language.
Okay.
So that was definitely part of it. Also, her personality is very fast moving. So did she read everything that I said? I don't know. We talked about this yesterday, and I said to the group that was around when I was like, how do you think it makes you feel when someone tells you that they have to put your communication into chat GPT so they can understand what you said? And she's like, no. She's like, English is my second language. And I was like, I know, but still, I'm like, do any of you listen to my podcast? They're all like, no. I'm like, good, because
Ah,
I know. I'm like, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow.
it's funny.
So I thought about it, after it happened. So, I've been thinking about it because this happened. Today is Thursday. So I've been thinking about it since like Sunday. And so what I was thinking about is what if it just wasn't like the language barrier? What if it wasn't as clear of communication as I thought it was? And what if the only person that truly understands what I'm saying sometimes is just me, that just
Mm,
you, right? You feel like the people you're communicating with should know these things, right? Lots of
right.
times I'm like, what do you mean you don't understand? Like, how can I be more clear? You know, th- how come everybody doesn't understand this? So, as leaders, we spend a lot of the time thinking about our ideas, right? Fleshing it out in our head, knowing the vision. It's not like I just came up with this direction today and spit it out of my mouth. It's, that I know the story behind what I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
I that in what we were trying to do, we want to evoke a feeling how to direct them into what feeling they want to get as a outcome of the service, right?
Right.
So but I just quickly gave the direction without like articulating that. And so sometimes the person you're communicating it with, it's the very first time they've ever heard it.
Yeah.
You've talked about it in your head. You have it written down on paper and you know the context of what you want to communicate. You know the history. They don't. So that little comment reminded me that great communication as a leader isn't about what we say. It's about the other people actually understanding what you're trying to communicate with them.
So how did it resolve itself?
Well, I don't necessarily think that it's about the resolution. It's about reminding people that, as leaders, it's, not just in what we say, what we do, how we lead by example, how like that all of us, including me, can use work on our leadership skills. It resolved itself fine. Yesterday we met in person and we talked about, what I wanted
Yeah.
it to look like and why. And she understood it and then told me, I already sent the stuff for printing. I'm like, girl, I guess you should have got
Oh
it approved
no.
first.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
not really part of the story. Part of the story is that it made me reflect. And oftentimes I think that I do have this problem, that I think others should just know, what I'm trying to
Yeah. Well,
communicate.
yeah, right. And people only know what they know, right? So sometimes we do have to slow down and try to make our communication a little bit more precise.
Like we
Yes. Well, thank you for that real life story, Julie Pankey. I love it. Dived right in. So we're gonna have some fun today, Julie. Since I
mm,
always, you're like, I don't know whose definition of fun this is. I always love to ask you questions on the fly, on the cuff, without you being prepared, because that's wonderful. And
but this is a shared podcast, not an
I
interview
know,
Julie
but there are
podcast.
areas where we are both expertise. And sometimes I am pretty good at asking you questions and you are pretty good at answering them. So let's play up our strengths, right? Yes. Yes, Marianne, you are right. That's what I thought. Okay, great. So let's dive right into it. This segment of my fun game show is called What Would You Do? Are you ready, Julie Pankey?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to keep these answers quick, okay? Because people are in these situations, they need to know automatically, what did Julie say? All right, your best employee suddenly starts showing up 10 minutes late every single day, what's your first move?
Well, my first move will be to talk to them and find out, what if something's going on, you know? Hey, I noticed that you've been showing up late every single day for the last week. Everything okay?
Coming from a place of caring, that's nice. We all love that. And what if they shut you down? They say, yeah, sorry. I've always been on time. It's just I'm late right now.
Well, I mean, there may be a legitimate reason. I think that all communications with employees comes from a place of respect. And, we need to understand a situation before, passing judgment on a situation, and also hold everyone to the same standards. So I would say, well, my expectation is that everyone is ready for work. Everyone is here, ready to work at your scheduled start time. So I need my strongest people modeling that behavior, especially for new people. And the expectation is that, you're going to be on time.
Next one. So you're not automatically firing that person. That's really nice and great of you, I think. All right.
No,
So
I mean, you can't automatically fire someone that you haven't talked to about something, Also, we need to remember, and I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, or maybe the first leadership week, it's also not okay to silently tolerate it because they're your best employee.
yeah, that's a problem. Your best employer, the one you lean on the most.
Right.
Yeah. I can see how that could go towards like favoritism. Favoritism.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. You have an employee, they do all their work, they're amazing. Let's say they're one of your supervisors, but they are constantly negative. Do they stay? Can they even fit into your culture there? Is that a reason to talk to them? Because they're technically meeting all their marks and they're doing all their responsibilities.
It is a real life scenario, and it is a conversation that I've had multiple times with people about. I mean, some people complain they're tired 24/7.
You know what? I feel like you're talking about me, and we've talked about this. I am not a negative person. I am just realistic.
Anyway, so I have had this conversation multiple times, and it's that we lead by example. So if we are complaining about things that our team are doing, uh, or constantly complaining about, little things that humans complain about because, we like to complain as humans, it creates an environment that's okay.
Yeah.
And so it's not okay. And so I have worked with, many supervisors and managers over my career, to help them be able to shift that kind of mental space, and sometimes like to be able to hold it inside a little bit better.
Not all your
But
thoughts need to
it's
be
not
outside thoughts.
right. But it's not okay to bring that
Yeah,
forward.
it is. I think that's somewhat of a hard thing. Our next segment is this or that. Fast, no thinking. You can explain it afterwards. Here we go, Julie.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, likability or respect?
Respect.
Hire for skill or hire for attitude?
Attitude.
Feedback in private or immediately in the moment?
Private.
Yeah. Promote from within or hire outside?
From within.
You're good at this segment. Daily meetings or weekly meetings?
Well, that depends on who's it's with. With all the staff, we have daily meetings. So it's a daily stand up.
Yeah.
And with meetings with leads, supervisors, etc. weekly.
I see. So a combo of both makes the dreams happen. Text or phone call?
Phone call,
Haha.
although I'm also guilty of text.
Yes.
But I am very careful not to text. I am generally very careful not to text anything that could be perceived as discipline
Yeah.
and hold that for a meeting in person, not phone call. But sometimes I slip because I can get a little hot.
You know what? We're all humans. Now, where does voice memo go, or, voice messages go into this
I feel
ranking?
like you're the only one that likes my voice memos,
Yeah, we do voice memo a good bit. I wish more people would like voice memos because it
right?
makes it's so much easier. And you can get the tone and the inflection and like what the person is trying to say.
Yes. So sometimes with like the particular person that I was talking about earlier that misinterpreted what I said and couldn't, not misinterpreted, but didn't understand the direction essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will sometimes voice message that person so that they actually can like hear what I'm saying instead of trying to like assume what I'm saying because sometimes it is a little bit lost in translation. So some people I will voice message, but I'm not sure that everyone likes it.
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't.
no one said they don't like it, but no one voice memos me back. Let's just put it that.
Yes, I agree. So whenever I voice memo someone first, I'm always like, I'm not sure like if you like these or not, but it was easier for me, blah blah blah. And they always just
Text
text me
back.
back. And I'm like, got it. Message loud and clear. Understood. All right. Are we having a coffee or hot chocolate meeting since you don't drink coffee? Or are we having a walking meeting? Well, we're gonna walk with our hot cocoa.
No, sometimes we do hot cocoa, sometimes we do infrared sauna, sometimes we do walking.
It's hilarious that you have meetings in the infrared sauna.
Yesterday I
I
ate my
hope
lunch in
I
the
would pass
infrared
out.
sauna.
I would just pass out.
Yesterday I had a meeting and ate lunch in the infrared
That's
sauna.
disgusting. That's gross. Are you supposed to be eating in those? I don't think so.
Why not? I was eating a half a sandwich. It was like 5 minutes out of my time, and I only stayed in there like 10 because I
I
was
would have like the meat sweats. Like I'd be trying to eat a sandwich and then I would just be sweating. Gross. And passing out and trying to hold a conversation. That's like my version of the worst meeting possible.
so dramatic.
I know. I really am. All right. Last one in this segment is trust first or earn trust.
That's tricky.
I know. That's why I asked
I
it.
know you didn't come up with these. I know your chat GPT created it.
ChatGPT is an extension of me. Okay.
Let's just spit out my water. So I do try to trust first. I try to assume that everyone deserves my trust. However, I am proved wrong many times.
That's funny.
So sure.
Yeah. I think it's a hard one. It's also like, what are you trusting with, right? Like, I think that's also, part of the equation. Like, oh, are you trusting them to open by themselves? Okay, well, yeah, that's a part of their job, right? Or are
Right.
you trusting them with like, you don't know them really, and they have to go make money deposits or something. You're a small business, right? You got to see. You got to check it
Yeah,
out first.
exactly.
I think that's fair. All right, we are moving on to our last segment, Julie Pankey.
Okay.
Are you all right? So this is called Finish the Sentence. Okay.
Okay.
So every owner should stop. You got to fill it in, bro.
I thought we already talked about this
Oh, you
on
didn't finish the sentence?
another podcast. Every owner
No.
should stop. Every owner should stop micromanaging.
You know what? I was going to say micromanaging. That's so funny.
Amazing.
I know. All All right, the hardest part of leadership is
not taking everything personally.
we are 242. This is creepy. This is real weird. Okay. Next one. People think leadership is blank, but it really is
Easy and hard. No.
you phone that one in. No.
People think leadership is, easy. People think leadership is something that comes naturally.
Oh, people think leadership is something that comes naturally,
So that they
but
have it.
but
Something that you have to work at and cultivate.
like a muscle. I see. Okay, that's a good one. All right. If I could teach every manager one thing,
How to think on their own.
okay, sure.
If I
AK,
could
don't be a dummy.
to have common sense.
Yeah, common sense is a hard one to teach, though. So,
Well, you didn't say that it wasn't. It was something that that was real reality.
I see. That's a
If I
hard one.
could teach every manager one thing, it would be those other things, but to be more self-aware.
Well, that's a good one. And that kind of goes into your story earlier, right? More
Yeah, that's
self-aware of your communication,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
and how it's coming across. Okay, we got two to round us out today. The best leader I ever worked for, blank. The worst leader I ever worked for, blank.
You want a name?
No, something they did, something they didn't do, something. I mean, I if you'd like to give us a name, I would certainly take it. But I don't think you're going to give us that.
The worst leader I ever worked for was not a leader, probably. And so that would be a manager rather than a leader. The worst manager didn't set their team up for success
Expectations or
in lots of different ways. And in communicating, training, leading by example, making sure that they had the tools that they needed, seeking the glory just for themselves, appreciation on a regular basis.
well, they sound like a real crap head.
The best leader was a guide and a resource and allowed their team to shine best. So more of a teacher and a leader and a guide mentality, but really also acknowledged what each person's strengths were and, help to cultivate that.
Okay, and probably also paid well. No. Best leader paid me the best. Love it.
I will say, that's only such a small percentage of
No.
employee satisfaction.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. It definitely is, especially these days. Well, I love that. Thank you, Julie, for giving us a glimpse into your leadership brain. Fun fact is we are going to be having a class here soon, right? Where we go into more SPA 101, definitely some leadership, definitely some management. Uh, and that'll be coming live next few weeks. So stay tuned because you could sign up for that. Julie's, coming out of the archive, dusting off her teacher hat, and is getting ready to show up virtually to you very soon.
Yep, we
It's
are.
gonna be fun.
It's gonna be great. I already have the class and presentation outline.
Great. And I already have the notebook outline. It looks so amazing. And it is not brought to you by ChatGPT. Poor Julie Pankey. It's beautiful. So if you ever have a topic you want us to talk about, shoot us a DM or a message or an email or a carrier pigeon, or you can knock on Julie Pankey's door. And let us know. We'd love to include your topic into our show.
Yeah. We're always looking for great topics that you want us to talk about so that we're giving you more of what you want and not just thinking that we're talking about what you want to hear and enjoying our wonderful banter back and forth. August is, I think, going to be a light month because people are busy. So we want to talk about light and fun topics, not heavy and deep because people are not really into learning. So maybe we treat you to our, 20-minute short clip podcast in August and see how it goes.
I love it. I love switching it up.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody here again live next time in our Spa Hive. In the meantime, have a great week. Bye, Marianne.
Bye, Julie. Bye, listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us today in the Spa Hive.
If this episode sparked an idea, made you think differently, or just made you feel a little less alone in business or life, share it with someone who might need it too.
Don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss a conversation.
And check out the show notes for links, resources, and ways to stay connected with us, including the Spa 101 course taught by our very own Julie Pankey.
We're so grateful you're part of this community.
And we'll see you next time.